We got Labyrinth, Heroes, and some Pendulums for you today as well. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. We have more Labyrinth. I've genuinely enjoyed seeing this deck's like rise to fame here as it kind of steps on out of the woodwork to kind of show everybody that, hey, you know, like, I'm an actual contender in the room. You know, once we get big welcome Labyrinth, I think that this deck will expand itself much larger in the competitive player base, but I think it's going to take some time. So we have one Absolute King backjack, one copy of Ariane, triple copies of Ariana, we have one Chandelier, one copy of the Cuckoo Clock, and then we got triple copies of Lady Labrynth of the Silver Castle, literally the best card in the deck. We have one lovely Labyrinth with two copies of Labrynth, triple copies of Pot of Extravagance, two copies of the Ghastly Glitch, triple Compulsory Evacuation Device. We have one Dimensional Barrier, two copies of Dogmatica Punishment, one Eradicator Epidemic Virus, triple copies of Infinite Permanence, two copies of Good Old Rivalry of the Warlords, two Solemn Steed Reichs, one Terrors of the Overwrit. It's actually interesting. This is one of the best cards that this deck actually has access to. We have triple copies of Torrential Tribute, one Trap Trick, and triple copies of Welcome Labyrinth. Then we have one copy of the Underworld Goddess, two copies of the Camera Broster, two copies of News Reporter, with one Link Karibo, one copy of Nightmare Cerberus, with one Baguski. We have one Neo Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. That's interesting. We have one Dingrisu, one Wind Pegasus, one Dona, and we have two copies of Anintis. Our side deck here is triple copies of our good friend Shifter. We have two copies of Lava Golem, one Harpy's Feather Duster, two copies of Necro Valley. We have two copies of Raigeki, two copies of Zombie World, then we have two copies of Evenly Fun, and then one copy of Metaverse here, wrapping up your take on Labyrinth. And I think going forward here is an anti-meta strategy this deck's going to actually kind of pick up, hopefully. Next up is Hero. Now this got top 8 out of its OTS championship a little while back. The main reason why we're covering it is nothing wrong with it. This deck gets off pretty scot-free. I mean, most of the hero builds that I've seen that have been trying to get cheeky out here had to do with, you guessed it, man, just had to play with the Mystic Mind, man. Like, they were looking for ways to try to get cool, try to dodge, you know, the format, but alas, you know, it is possible to have hero without Mystic Mind slowing you down. We're also not even playing Ian Shuffle either, so that's something else. A lot of the builds definitely been focusing on Ian Shuffle to make the Dark Law much faster. So we have two copies of Stratos, two copies of Shadow Mist, one Liquid Soldier with one Honest Neos, two copies of Malicious, one Denier, one Plasma with one Dark Angel. We have triple copies of Faris, one Increase with two copies of Ion. We have we are playing Ian Shuffle. Someday I will learn to look at cards. So we have triple Ghost Spell, then we have two Ian Shuffle. Okay, yeah, this is your first turn play. Literally rotating into, you know, the good stuff. Where is he? Where is he? There he is. This is the good card. We have one Poly, one Miracle, triple Fusion Destiny with triple Mass Change, triple Aerolibs, one Rhoda, one Foolish Burial, your two talents, and triple Forbidden Droplet. Extra deck down here, you got the one Wonder Driver, two Cross Crusaders, one Baguski, one Abyss Dwelly, one copy of Trinity, one Dangerous with one Dystopia, one DP, one Blast, two Dark Law, one copy of Absolute Zero, one Escuridao, and one Sunrise. And you got triple copies of the Time Fun card, triple copies of the Divine Karate, we got triple copies of the triple Cosmic Cyclone, triple copies of Hadoken, and triple copies of Solemn Judgment Friend here, wrapping up, honestly, what you would expect within the confines of the meta. Like, this deck will be able to close the gap. Going first. This is best card in the deck. Alright, opponent's not going to impermanent. Next up is our Pendulum deck. Now, honestly, what do you expect out of Pendulums at this point? I will tell you a couple things I've noticed about these Pendulum builds. A lot of them look the same. There's usually Necro Valley in the main deck. You can have Necro Valley in the side, that's fine. A lot of your cases you'll be able to see some deviation and what you want to play in terms of ratios, but usually you might see this as the 40th or 41st card. I've also seen 50 card Pendulum decks, but that's a little bit insane. So we have one copy of the Amorphage Sloth, one Archfiend Eccentric with one Astrograph Sorcerer. We have 2 copies of Druisworm, triple copies of Magnanet, triple copies of Dynamite, 2 copies of Harmonizing, triple copies of Ignis Phoenix, triple copies of Luster Pendulum. We have triple copies of Bumbuki. We got triple copies of the Majesty Pegasus, triple copies of the Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon, 1 Monkey Board, 1 copy of the Performapal Odd Eyes Synchron, 2 copies of Skullcrabat, 2 copies of the Purple Poison, 2 copies of Master Pendulum. We've got 1 Skyrus, and then of course you're just going to dedicate the rest of your slots to talents because you may as well. You could very much argue you could cut 1 talents and put the Necrovalley in the main, maybe. Then we have 1 Zealantis, 1 Selene, 1 Hieratic Seal, 1 Dahark, 2 copies of Beyond the Pendulum, 1 Apollosa with 1 Baguski. We have 1 Magister Pegasus with the 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Tilting Entertainment, 2 copies of Ignister Prominence, 1 Baron, and 1 copy of the Dinosaur Power. And then we got 2 copies of Guiding Ariadne, 1 Scarlight with 1 Change of Heart, triple Cosmic Cyclone, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Arby's Feather Duster, 1 Mind Control, 1 Necrovalley, 1 Secret Village, and triple copies of Solemn Judgment, wrapping up your, honestly, Pendulum deck. Oh, I thought we were done looking at these. Come on. Well, we have a Tier Elements deck. Tier seems to have gotten through the cracks and wanted me to talk about it today. So, to kind of shift on into the new format here, a few people have been asking, you know, Robbie, got any tier list for post-ban? Nothing changed! Alright? You cut the orange lights down to 1 if you were playing it. Alright? Like, that's it. Like, you needed a PhD to see that one? Come on. No wonder why you can't see what people love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. We have triple copies of Druisworm, triple copies of Magnanet, triple copies of Saronir. Man, this deck is, your opponent is not going to have fun. This has got to make the mirror so unfun. We have triple copies of Keldo with triple copies of Mudora. We have triple copies of Havnus, triple copies of Merly, only 2 copies of Rena Heart, wow, and triple copies of Shayrin. And of course we have triple copies of Lubellion, 1 copy of Branded Regained, 1 Instant Fusion, triple copies of Paralinia, 1 Heartbeat, 1 Screech, 1 Terraforming with 1 Beast, 1 Crime, and 1 Solak. Down here in the extra, you get the 1 Sprint, the 1 Elf, the 1 Unicorn with the 1 Dahark, 1 Axis Machine, 1 Vime Thief Reader, 1 Baguski, 1 Beatrice, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Rukalos, 1 Kitgalos, 1 Kaleido Heart, 1 Draco, 1 Mudmud, and 1 Garuda. And inside deck, yeah, you know what this card does. This card says no to the opponent. We have triple Gamma with 1 Driver, 1 Called by the Grave, your triple Forbidden Droplets, 1 Arby's Feather Duster, and your triple copies of Infinite Permanence, wrapping up one of the very few decks that actually is playing Imperm out here in the department for Tier Elements. I guess maybe them floodgates are finally messing them up, that it's forced them to finally give 2 craps about trying to play some of these cards. Next up here is, this is fun. This is Fallen of Albaz with our Bysteel cards, with still only 1 Druist Herd. That's definitely interesting. It's always interesting to see like the ratios and things that players opt to play out here to try to find, I guess, their place in the format to see what works. So we have 1 copy of Adlidium, triple copies of Olooper. We have 1 Druisworm, triple copies of Magnanet, 2 copies of Saronir, 2 copies of Tragedy, 2 copies of Edge Imp Chain with 2 copies of Fallen of Albaz, triple copies of Bysteel Lubellion, triple copies of Branded Fusion with 1 Branded in red. We have triple copies of Branded Opening, 1 Branded Regained, 1 Called by the Grave, 1 Foolish Burial, triple copies of Patchwork with 2 copies of Polymerization, triple copies of Super Polymerization, and 2 copies of the Triple Tactics Talents. And then we have just 2 Branded Banishment, 1 Banishment with 1 Branded Beast. These 2 look alike. Down here in the next deck, we have 1 Dahark, 1 Wallow, 1 Predaply Dracostabelli, 1 Mudmud, 2 Mirjades, 1 Masquerade, 1 Lubellion, 1 Guardian Chimera, 1 Garuda, your 1 Quadratus with triple Albion, and 1 Alba Lenatus. Side deck here is triple Fenrir, triple copies of Forbidden Droplet, triple Lightning Storm, triple Evenly Matched, and triple copies of Solemn Judgment. Wrapping up, well, your chunk of interesting deck profiles, honestly. So, as per usual, what do you guys think about these interesting decks? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and man, some interesting ideas here. Peace out, guys.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.